Well, hello, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be talking about the brand new Natasha Denona Love, well, not the whole collection, but I do have the eyeshadow palette and I do have the blush palette. I don't have the 3 lip products that came out. I'm very tempted. I may end up getting them. But I don't have them here today. And these 2 products were so kindly sent to me from Beautylish. So a huge thank you to Beautylish for sending these to me for review. This is gonna be a first impressions. I just got the box delivered to me, just ripped it open like a wild animal, and here we are. So these 2 products are available on Beautylish. They're also available, you know, at other Natasha Denona retailers. This eyeshadow palette retails for $65 and this blush palette retails for $55. So we're gonna get into the particulars of both of these items. I'm gonna have swatches for you. I'm gonna do a first impressions demo for you. So I have my makeup up until the point where I would go ahead and apply some blush. So I have some base down, I have some powder down, and I have some bronzer down. So let's go ahead and jump into this Love Glow Cheek Palette. So this is Natasha Denona's like 3rd palette of this size. She originally came out with the Bloom palette. That's what this guy is. This is the one that had the really dark cream blush. Let me just hold these up next to one another so you can kind of compare, at least in your minds. I want to say this one is a little bit more subtle, and because it has that very cool toned diamond powder, which is pink, it makes the entire palette like a little bit more neutral, where this one is very warm because it is very peachy leaning. And then the 2nd palette that she came out with in this size is the Tan Bronze and Glow palette. This one is just not similar at all, but I thought I would show you anyway. All right, this packaging is just, it's so cute. It like speaks to the little girl inside of me. It has these big sparkly bits in here that are, I guess, floating around in water, but it's so cute. It's so festive, and it really kind of reminds me of like a Valentine. I don't know, there's just something about it that I feel like it just reminds me of a Valentine. I've never received a Valentine like this, but it seems just very reminiscent of that. And then inside we have one cream product here, which is underneath this plastic lid here. Natasha Denona has these in a lot of her palettes. And we have a cream product here. This product is not like a full-on cream. This is more of like a cream to powder. It's a very kind of creamy powder, but this is like a full-on cream product. So I went ahead and swatched these 4 shades in here for you. So I went across the top and then across the bottom. So first on the left, we have the cream product. That's the Glow Cream Base. Next to that, we have the Super Glow powder. Then we have the Diamond powder. And then we have the Glow Impact powder. So I love these little palettes from Natasha Denona because I feel like you can do so many different things with what you have. And she has so many different textures and so many different tones in here. So the cream base is, I want to say, the most neutral, I guess you could say. And then this Super Glow powder, which is like a cream to powder, it is very pigmented. It is definitely on the warmer side. It definitely has like a very strong peach base. And then this Diamond powder, which is very cool toned, is almost like a topper. It's like a glittery topper if you kind of just want to amp up or kind of like highlight your entire blush look. And then this Glow Impact powder, it being a baked powders generally have a more sheer effect, very buildable kind of effect on the skin. So I really like the variety of the shades. I like the variety of the formulas in here, but let's go ahead and see how they perform. So I'm gonna take my Rephr 05 brush. This is like their traditional cheek brush. This is undyed goat hair, so you can use this with cream products. So I'm gonna go into this Glow Cream Base here, pick up just a bit. Natasha Denona products are generally very, very pigmented, so I wanna go in slowly, and I'm just gonna brush this kind of in like a pouncing brush kind of motion here, and just lay down a nice base. I'm not gonna go in too heavy because I do wanna add these other products on top, and I feel like if I go in too heavy, too strong in the beginning, it's just gonna be too much. So I'm just gonna leave it there. But this cream blush by itself, if you're like a cream blush lover, is so beautiful. It has like a little bit of a golden kind of like sheen in it. It's so, so pretty. And all of the products in here have a very strong metallic sheen, as I'm sure you saw in the swatches. It is definitely not for the faint of heart. It is definitely not for like a matte blush lover. This would be your worst nightmare then. But I happen to really like bright metallic blushes, and this is just right up my alley. So this glow cream base is definitely deeper than the glow cream base in the original palette. That is this one here. This one was definitely lighter. I think it was kind of to offset this cream blush, but in terms of comparing it, you know, base to base, I think this one is a little bit deeper. All right, now that we have the cream base down, let's go ahead and use this Super Glow powder. I'm really excited for this because it has such a beautiful creamy texture. I am going to use my other Rephr 05 brush. So same brush, I have a few of them and I just cleaned all of them. So they happen to be sitting here. Great, great timing. So I'm going to go ahead and use this and go into the Super Glow powder. Very, very pigmented. In fact, I'm going to just dot a little there and there and brush off the excess on my microfiber towel here. And now I'm going to work that in. Wow, that adds a lot of heat to my cheeks, and I just dabbed the brush in there. So very, very pigmented. I'm not surprised, but definitely be careful when you use this. There's definitely micro glitters in there. It's not very chunky, but I definitely see like little bits in there. So that's the Super Glow powder, and again, it has such a beautiful sheen. I feel like with the addition of that powder, my cheek is starting to have that like kind of wet effect. So pretty. All right, and now for the diamond powder. So the diamond powder for me personally is probably my least favorite product in this palette because it really is kind of like a glittery top coat. And I'm not the biggest fan of glitter, you know, actual glitter on my cheeks. I like a lot of sheen. I don't mind a little micro glitter here and there. But if this is like her other diamond powders, this is going to be like glitter. So I just pulled out her diamond and blush palette in the shade 01 Daria. And I thought, I don't know, in my mind, I thought there was going to be a very similar kind of dupe shade in here, but there really isn't. Sorry, I have to hold these at an angle. I thought it was similar to this, but this glow powder in here is actually not quite as pink as the one in this palette. And then everything else is a little bit peachier. And then I do have the mini diamond and glow powder, and this is the same as the one that was in Daria. So it is definitely, it almost looks like lilac when you hold it up to this very pink diamond powder in this Love palette, but they are different. Let's go ahead and apply the diamond powder. Okay, I couldn't resist, but I had to take out my Koyudo like heart-shaped pink brush because I just think this is like absolutely perfect. This is not my favorite brush in the entire world. The shape of this, I think, is just, it's a little bit impractical. I would rather it just, you know, kind of be domed, but it is so, so cute, and it's definitely not bad. It's just the shape of it that's not my favorite. Anyway, the name of the brush is not actually on here, but I will link to it down below because how cute. How cute. Okay, let's go into this diamond powder here, and I'm just going to just kind of brush it all over pretty much. And yes, I immediately see little glitter particles everywhere. I hope the camera is catching it. Definitely very difficult to catch, you know, glitter and highlight on camera, but hopefully you guys can see that. It's like all over my face. If you don't like glitter, you definitely do not want to use that particular powder, the diamond powder. But yeah, that's a lot of glitter, and I definitely won't be using that too often. Again, if you like glitter, that's in there for you. But I definitely want to move on to this Glow Impact powder. This is like a highlight, a baked highlight in here. It's swatched really beautifully, so I'm anxious to use it. I've got my Sonia G Sculpt 2 brush, and I'm gonna go in with this. And because this is a baked product, and I usually say this when I use baked products, definitely go in with a brush, natural haired if you have it, or just something dense, something that's gonna like easily pick up product. You don't wanna go in with something too light and too fluffy, otherwise it's just not gonna be able to grab anything. Wow, just when I thought it couldn't really get that much brighter, it did. That is some serious, serious highlight. Really beautiful. And I remember kind of having the same reaction when I used the Glow Impact powder that's in the tan palette. I think these two Glow Impact powders are very, very close. If anything, the one in the blush maybe looks a little bit deeper than the one in the tan palette, which is interesting, but very, very similar. And I remember having the similar effect from the tan palette and having the same reaction, like, wow, it's really, really intense. All right, so those are the 4 products from this Love Glow Cheek Palette. I love it. I love it. Like I said, I love a really shiny cheek product, and you definitely get it in here. The one I like the least is the diamond powder because I'm just really not into that much glitter. And there's definitely some micro glitter in the Super Glow powder, but that I can definitely handle. That, you know, just kind of catches the light in a subtle way instead of like having these like kind of glittery bits. And it's really hard to say which one I like more because the original one, the Bloom one, does not have the diamond powder. So all of the products in here I use, you know, evenly. I don't have kind of favorites in here. I kind of use all of them, but I do find the shades in here to be a little bit easier to work with. They are incredibly pigmented in the original, but there are some definite similarities there. And I do just want to point out, this is so minor, but the packaging on the Love palette is just a hair thicker because of this like confetti situation. So I just wanted to point that out. It is just a teensy bit thicker than the previous 2 palettes. All right, let's move on to the eyeshadow palette. I am so excited for this. When I saw preview pics for this online, I got really excited. This palette is $65 and it has 15 pans. So it is the same size as the Sunrise palette. It's a little bit smaller than her previous 15 pan palettes like her Gold and Biba and all of those other ones, Sunset, etc., etc. I personally love this size. I like 15 shades. I think it's very manageable. I like the actual physical size of this palette. I think it's easy to hold. I think it's easy to travel with. I happen to really like her plastic packaging. Her shadows are a little bit on the delicate side. They can be a little bit fragile, and so I think the plastic is just a nice kind of housing for it. And you can pop the shadows out if you like. So there's these pinholes in the back that allow you to like push out the shadows. And then of course here is a look at the inside. We have all the shades printed right onto the palette, which we all love. And here are some swatches. So what I did actually, instead of going across, I went up and down. So I went from top to bottom in this first column, top to bottom in the next column, and so on and so forth. So we have the shade First, which is a creamy matte. Then we have Heart, which is a creamy matte. Soul, which is a creamy matte. Lifetime, which is a chroma crystal. Giving, which is a duochrome. Passion, which is a chroma crystal. Heartbeat, which is a creamy matte. Pure Love, which is a duochrome. Intense, which is a creamy matte. Transparent, which is a metallic. Commitment, which is a cream to powder. Valentine, which is a creamy matte. Trust, which is a creamy matte. Blind, which is a metallic. And Dream, which is a cream to powder. So you may have noticed in the swatches that the mattes they swatched a little bit patchy, but as we all know, swatches really only tell a very small part of the story. And I have noticed, I think along with all of you, that matte shadows just generally aren't quite as impressive swatched as they can be when you apply them. So let's go ahead and play with this palette. I'm so excited. I definitely want to use this shade Giving, this like duochrome pink color. It's so pretty. And I have to say, when I opened up this palette actually looks a lot more pink in person than it does, I feel like, in the product shots that I've seen online, on Instagram, etc. It looks a little bit more peachy and washed out online. Like this intense shade actually looks like, it's a peachy pink, but there's definitely a pink in there. And I felt like online, this just kind of looked like a flesh toned peach. So I was definitely very pleasantly surprised when I opened this up and looked at this palette in person. I just kept thinking when I saw the pictures online, like, wow, what a missed opportunity. She doesn't really have a lot of pinks in there, but she does. Like all of these are a very definite pink. This definitely has like a nice pink duochrome and everything. So I just wanted to mention that in case you guys felt the same way after looking at some of the shadows online. All right, I'm gonna go into Valentine first, which is like the lightest pink matte shade in here. And as you guys know, especially when I have a new palette, I like to start really slowly and just see what we're dealing with here. So I'm just gonna add this oh, that's pretty pink. That is pretty pink. Wow, interesting. I almost feel like it cools down on my lids a little bit, and I generally have the problem of shadows warming up on my lids. Like, I really thought that there was a strong chance that this was going to turn kind of peachy on my lid. Not at all. Not at all. It looks straight up pink. I do want to mention I'm having some issues here on my lid. I have a little bit of eczema there, and so if I feel like the shadows are coming off a little bit patchy just over that one spot, I'll let you know. But that's kind of what's going on right there. It's all of those French fries I can't stop eating. All right, so that is the Valentine shade. So far, these are behaving very much like Natasha Denona shadows, very pigmented, very smooth. They go on beautifully, they blend out beautifully. Very happy with that first shade. Okay, so I definitely want to use this color. I'm so interested in this blind color, but it's, I may have to save that for another look. Okay, I'm gonna go into the Soul shade. I'm just gonna use the same Sonia G Blender Pro brush, and I'm just gonna kind of deepen up like this crease area just a little bit. A little bit scared that it's gonna be too dark. Yep, this is like a straight up pink color as well. At least that's how it's coming off on my lid. There's a little bit of warmth to this one. And again, I thought maybe it was gonna turn kind of peach on my lids, but no, it's staying very pinky. Yeah, my eczema is kind of rearing its ugly head. I don't know if that looks patchy to you right here. It's not the shadow, it's my skin. Okay, all right, I need to go into this giving color. So I'm gonna use my finger. Since this is a duochrome, it's very, very creamy. And I just have that, picked it up on my fourth finger there. Oh, it's so pretty. I'm gonna tap this onto the center of my lid here. Oh, that is so cool. This actually reminds me a little bit of a Pat McGrath shadow. Can't remember which one. Maybe it's in the Ritualistic Rose. It's like that really bright kind of like bubblegum pink, and it duochromes to like a fluorescent orange kind of. Oh my God, I'm so in love with that color. I'm actually gonna just apply it all the way into the inner corner of my eye. I was gonna try and squeeze in another color in there, but I don't want to. This color is so pretty. All right, I'm just gonna take my Blender Pro and just blend it out a little bit. Oh my God, I love it. I love that shade so much. All of my Esom brushes need to be washed. I really could use my W36 right now because I just want to deepen up my outer corner. Let me take a different brush. All right, I've got my Sonia G mini booster brush, and I'm gonna go into, can't decide if I should go into Heartbeat or Trust to kind of add a little bit of dimension. I'm gonna go into Trust. I don't generally use a lot of purples, so let's do that. And again, I've got my mini booster. I'm just dipping in there ever so gently. This brush happens to pick up a lot of product despite how little it is, but it is a small but mighty brush. And I'm just gonna press that into the outer corner there. Oh, I think purple was a good call. I'm gonna take my Blender Pro and soften that up a little. This is like the perfect kind of like Hubba Bubba grape bubblegum color. I just love it. Does anyone chew Hubba Bubba anymore? Is that even still around? Wow, I am loving this so far. I'm gonna go ahead and line my eyes with this Commitment color. And I'm gonna use my Sonia G Smudger 1 brush. I'm getting some fallout from this because of the way I'm using it, but I didn't experience any fallout from any of the other colors, which is definitely a good thing. So there's 2 cream to powder shadows in here, Commitment, and then this color down here, Dream. And this cream to powder formula definitely is not quite as pigmented as you think it would be when you see them in the pan. So they're just a little bit softer, and I think there's definitely a place for that, but I probably shouldn't have used it for liner. I probably should have just gone for like a straight up creamy matte shade, because those I think have like a little bit of a better payoff. So maybe what I'll do is I'll go into Trust right here, and that's a creamy matte shade, and just kind of build on top of Commitment. Yeah, that's just a little bit darker. It just adds just what I need in terms of a liner. I want to drag something along my lower lash line. I think I'm going to go for this Pure Love. I'm going to take my Rephr 13 brush. So I think I'm going to stop right there. I would, of course, love to try all of these shades, but I did try 6 different shades, and these perform like Natasha Denona shadows. If you're a fan of her shadows, you're gonna like this palette a lot. So far, I'm not experiencing any kind of difference in her formulas or anything. I think they work absolutely beautifully. I am a big fan of Natasha Denona shadows, and these definitely do not disappoint. I feel like I need to blend out this purple a little bit more. I'm looking at the viewfinder. All right, so I'm going to finish up my makeup look and I'll be right back. All right, so I have finished up my makeup look. I just had to show you, I decided to put this lip gloss on from Pat McGrath. This is the Pale Fire Nectar. It's like the lip gloss version of this eyeshadow. It's almost like a perfect match. So anyway, everything I have on my face will be down below in my description box. I love these 2 palettes. I think this is just so great for a love palette, for a palette that's gonna come out for Valentine's Day. The quality is there. I love the color story. I love the size. I love the packaging. Like, I love everything about this. And this guy, I absolutely love. Maybe it's all about the packaging. No, I do love the packaging, but I really love the products in here. This cream base, I'm a cream blush fan. I really like an all cream look every once in a while because I have very dry skin. And this color, it was so pretty all by itself. And of course, you know, amped it up with these 2 powders. This one I really love. I just think you have to be careful with all of the powders in here actually, because they are all really pigmented. They're all really shiny. This highlighter is like blingy, super blingy. I would say the only person that would be disappointed in this blush palette is if you are a matte blush lover. This, stay far away if you're a matte blush lover. Everyone else, I think you'll really enjoy this. I love all the different textures, like I've said, and I just think they're wonderful. So thank you guys so much for tuning into my first impressions of these 2 palettes from Natasha Denona. And again, thank you so much to Beautylish for sending these over to me for review. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe down below if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video.